Hi, I'm Sarah Ashleman, and I'm here today with my father, Ken Patterson. He's been growing blueberries for about 28 years, most of those in Florida. And we're going to talk today about the history of Florida blueberries, where they came from in Florida, how they were cultivated, and what they've gone through in the last 100 years or so to bring us to where we are today, and what we're looking forward to in the future for sustainability of this crop in this state. Tell me a little bit about how Florida blueberries got started.
Well, it was actually back in the late 1800s. A gentleman that was a logging contractor in the Panhandle named Moses Sapp started digging wild blueberries, rabbit-eye blueberries specifically, out of the river bottoms in North Florida and planting them in his field. And he was harvesting them and just selling them locally. And the idea caught on. People got excited about it. And so the business started growing in the late 1800s, and people started digging up all these varieties and planting them up in the Panhandle. Well, it got to a certain size to where the railroads caught wind of it, as well as real estate people and nurseries. All three of them were the ones that really ended up profiting in this in the end. And the railroad promoted it as though they could deliver all these goods up the eastern seaboard, and they're in cahoots with the real estate people to sell the land that the railroad owned to develop this into blueberry production. And of course the nurseries were digging plants and selling them. And so the industry grew to around 2,000 acres by the early 1900s. Because the blueberry plants that they dug out of the river bottoms were not identical varieties, but actually seedlings from mother plants as they grew and were pollinated, the variability of berries was very high. Some had good quality, some had bad quality, some were small, some were very large. So to have a consistent supply was pretty difficult, even though they did manage for a while. But in the early 1920s is when Elizabeth White and Dr. Coville up in New Jersey started cultivating northern highbush blueberries and breeding them together, and they established really the beginning of the cultivated industry in the United States. Because of that, the industry ended up dying in North Florida, and the people that invested in the land and all the acres they planted lost. The railroads won, real estate agents won, nurseries did, but the farmers didn't. And the industry slowly dissolved into nothing in a matter of 5 or 6 years. Because our market window has changed, we owned it all to ourselves in the early 1900s. Well, we don't anymore. Chile is now infringing on our window in the early side, and certainly Georgia and North Carolina now with their large production is starting to take away some of our later market share. So we have to be very specific with the new varieties to get a good quality berry in exactly our window. And also because of the labor situation, which is that we pick all our blueberries by hand at the present time in Florida, but that's quite expensive. We're looking for two things. We're looking for high quality fruit, and we're looking for a plant that can be machine harvested instead of hand harvested.
So what are those varieties that are up and coming?
We have two right now that have just recently been released from the University of Florida. One is called Farthing, and the other is Meadowlark. And both of those show a great deal of promise on the machine pick side of this industry for Florida.